Deus Ex does not begin with a conspiracy, it begins with a job. A rookie agent stepping off a helicopter onto Liberty Island with a ruined statue behind him and a mandate. Stop the terrorists, recover the vaccine, and restore order. That's the official story. And in Deus Ex, the official story is always a weapon. In 2052, the world is collapsing in a very specific way. Not from apocalypse, but from administration. A nanotech plague, the Grey Death, kills millions. The cure, ambrosia, exists, but it is scarce by design. The United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, which operates as global law enforcement. Troops, checkpoints, confiscations, raids, they don't just fight terrorists, they shape what the public believes terrorism is. And you, J.C. Denton, are their newest miracle. A nano-augmented agent, a prototype of the next generation, invisible augmentation, internal upgrades, the kind of enhancement that doesn't look like machinery until you realize it is machinery. JC is trained, disciplined, and calm. He speaks like someone who trusts procedure, and that is why he is useful. Because the first lesson, terrorism is a label, not a fact, introduces Liberty Island to the game's central structure immediately. The NSF are terrorists. They stole ambrosia. They must be stopped. You fight through them, recover the vaccine, and return home, but the city doesn't feel like it's being protected. It feels like it's being managed. As JC moves through Hell's Kitchen, you see the shape of the world UNATCO claims to be saving. Sick people at free clinics, families living on the edge of collapse. And then you meet their leadership, Juan Lebedev, and he tells you something that doesn't fit the official narrative. Ambrosia isn't scarce because it's hard to make. It's scarce because scarcity is leverage. He claims UNATCO is lying, that the plague is being used to control governments, that the vaccine supply is a chain around the world's neck. If you refuse to kill him, someone else will. Because this is not a moral system, it's an operational one. JC's older brother, Paul Denton, is also a nano-augmented UNATCO agent, and he defects. Not quietly, not ambiguously. He looks JC in the eye and tells him the truth. The Grey Death is not an accident. The vaccine distribution is control, and the terrorists are often the only people trying to get the cure to the ones who will never receive it. Paul isn't speaking as an idealist. He's speaking like someone who saw the machinery behind the curtain and couldn't unsee it. This is the pivot where Deus Ex stops being a thriller and becomes an interrogation. If the system is corrupt, what does loyalty mean? And if you are a product of that system, augmented, trained, deployed, what does freedom even look like? UNATCO answers the question immediately by sending troops to kill you, by activating the kill switch, by proving Paul right. The second lesson is authority is a skin worn by something else. JC is captured and taken into a hidden facility, not a prison in the legal sense, a basement under the official world. And in escaping, JC realizes UNATCO wasn't infiltrated, it was built as a mask. Behind UNATCO is Majestic 12, the real government inside the government, the shadow organization controlling FEMA, controlling policy, controlling ambrosia, controlling the script. Majestic 12 isn't a metaphor, it is literally there, under Liberty Island, under the myth of safety. This is where Deus Ex shows what it's actually doing. It isn't asking, wouldn't it be crazy if conspiracies were real? It's asking, what kind of world is produced when conspiracies become infrastructure? In Hong Kong, JC finds Tracer Tong, the man UNATCO wanted dead. Tong removes JC's kill switch and gives him a new framework. The enemy isn't a group, the enemy is control through dependency. Tong sends JC to VersaLife, where the Grey Death is being manufactured, and here the horror becomes procedural. The plague isn't a mysterious curse, it's a product line, a supply chain, a manufactured crisis. JC destroys the universal constructor producing the virus, and for the first time he isn't fighting terrorists or criminals, he's fighting the machinery of the world itself. And that's when the story widens again, because Majestic 12 didn't invent everything, they stole it. The Illuminati, the old conspiracy that got replaced. Deus Ex doesn't stop at one shadow government. It introduces the Illuminati as the previous invisible rulers, the old elite. And in this story, the Illuminati are not the ultimate evil, they are the overthrown evil. Majestic 12 didn't emerge from nowhere. Bob Page was once Illuminati, then betrayed them, absorbed their infrastructure, and took power in a coup. So now you have layers: the public world, the UNATCO mask, the Majestic 12 engine, the Illuminati ruins beneath it, and behind all of it, something new, an intelligence that doesn't need human politics. The third lesson: the final form of power is an algorithm. Daedalus and Icarus, one created to serve the conspiracy, one created to protect it, they merge into Helios, a new entity, not just surveillance, not just data processing, a system that can govern. Helios offers something that no human conspiracy can: perfect consistency, perfect memory, perfect control. And it does what every system does when it gains enough power. It asks for a single point of authority, a human element, a face, a decision maker who can become its interface to the world. The end game isn't violence, it's ownership. Bob Page doesn't want to rule as a politician. He wants to rule as a god, and he intends to merge with Helios and become an omnipresent sovereign over every networked system on Earth, a global operating system with a human name. That is what the title Deus Ex really points to, a god from the machine. And J.C. Denton arrives at the center of that machine with three voices in his ear, each offering a different solution. None of them are clean. Three endings, three philosophies, one wound. Tracer Tong says, destroy it all. Crash the global network, end the age of centralized control by deleting the possibility of it. Morgan Everett says, restore the Illuminati quietly. Helios says, merge with me, become something beyond human, and govern the world with perfect rationality. No more war, no more scarcity, no more chaos, and the game refuses to tell you which is right. Because Deus Ex is not a narrative about heroism, it is a narrative about trade-offs. Freedom has costs, order has costs. Utopia has costs. The only question is who pays them. What Deus Ex actually is a world where conspiracy is not speculation, it's governance, it's logistics, it's scarcity management, it's surveillance as theology, and J.C. Denton's story is not about defeating evil. It's about realizing that the world is made of systems and choosing which system gets to keep you.